Okay. It is around lunchtime on Wednesday, July 2nd, I think. We got the verdict in the Diddy trial this morning. He was acquitted on one count of racketeering, Rico, which would have carried a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison, could have been 15 to life sentence. He was acquitted on two counts of sex trafficking, was facing 10 years on each one of those counts if convicted. And he was convicted on two counts of providing transportation for prostitution or something along those lines. That carries a possible sentence of 0 to 10 years. He's been in prison for about a year. These are his first two felony convictions. And absent some kind of other aggravating charge or some charge involving violence or something like that, I will not be the least bit surprised if his eventual sentence is probation and time served. I, I'm half expecting that to be what his sentence is going to be. However, the judge has set a bail hearing for 5 p.m. today, Eastern, given the jury's verdict. So I want to talk about that for a second. I fully expect him to get bail today because his eventual sentence will likely result in probation and time served, maybe up to 1 or 2 years in prison. That's not 15 to life. Okay. So I think that a judge is probably weighing that Diddy is not going to be a flight risk, given that he was facing life in prison and is now facing either probation or probably a couple of years in prison at most. And so the judge is weighing that calculus, and the judge didn't have to set a bail hearing today for 5 p.m., but the judge did. And which I think is another indicator of the judge's intent to grant Diddy bail today so that he can remain free pending his sentencing. I would fully expect his bail to come with restrictions, wearing an ankle monitor, being court ordered to stay away from certain individuals, being court ordered to not leave the United States, things along those lines. I'm sure he had to surrender his passport. I would imagine that the court will hang on to that for the time being until after his sentencing. But so it's 12:20 p.m. West Coast time right now, so it's 3:20. So his bail hearing is going to take place in a little more than an hour and a half. I fully expect him to get bail. I expect him to post bail, and I expect him to be free by this evening. Which absolutely fucking sucks for the women and the other people who survived him and what he did to them. Several of whom testified about what he did to them in open court in graphic detail and subjected themselves to cross-examination from his attorneys, who his defense attorneys treated them the way that you would expect them to. And but I expect him to go free today, pending his sentencing. And I do not expect him to get any serious time in prison, if he gets time in prison at all over what he's already served at his sentencing. I'm leaning towards probation and time served for that as well. It's just another fucking atrocious example that men of wealth and power essentially get to do what they want to do to other people, women and minors primarily. And it's just gross. It's fucking gross. You know, I'm trying really hard these days to find any redeeming qualities about the United States of America in June of 2025, and I'm largely coming up empty handed. Let me know if you have different thoughts in the comments.